Joining me now to react is KT McFarland, former Deputy National Security Advisor, author of Revolution Trump. KT, what a pleasure to see you in person here in studio.
Awesome
Happy New Year to you.
New Year.
All right, what's China up to?
Ooh, China has every intention of becoming the new superpower in the world, replacing the United States and then rewriting the rules of order to its advantage. And it's making no secret about it. It plans to do this economically, technologically, militarily, culturally, politically, diplomatically, and it's well on its way.
But they are right now getting slammed by COVID. They ripped the bandage off of that stupid zero COVID policy they have, and they're stuck now with hospitals that are overrun. They might have more than 1 million people die. Isn't that going to affect their ability to do anything outside their border?
Oh, I think that actually it might have the opposite effect. You know, it was actually Lenin who said if you have a problem at home, create a problem abroad, and then people will focus on the problem abroad and they'll accept what's happening at home. So I think Xi Jinping becomes more dangerous in 2023.
And a problem at home, I mean, to put it in that phrase, when over 1 million people might die as a result of this COVID?
But here's what happened. You know, because China and Xi Jinping said, look, we're the guys who understand how to have an effective government. Authoritarian government is how to deal with the modern world and COVID crisis, et cetera, et cetera. They have no social safety net in the sense of health care that would be what we would consider adequate health care. Their hospitals are being overrun, and they have an alternative. Can they lock the whole society down again? They're having massive demonstrations and protests when they lock the people down. And they don't just lock them down and say, we're going to give you a slap on the wrist. I mean, they're having guns and people with guns going door to door to say, we'll shoot you if you leave
may
the
not
government.
care about the humanity of this. I mean, to us, thousands of people dying would be something we'd have to stop the nation for. To them, 1 million people, it's just a number. It's just a statistic. However, they do care about the economy, and they may have to shut down a lot of these, particularly the foreign companies that they have, the foreign manufacturing centers they have. So, I mean, this could seriously affect their ability financially to, for example, their designs on Taiwan. They might not be able to do in 2023 what they had been planning to do earlier in 2022.
That's right. The knock-on effects of this COVID crisis will be big, because not only will they have problems when they shut down their economy, but other companies and countries are looking to say, look, we can't reliably do business in China. We also have the idea that the United States is having an economic competition. Maybe it's time to move our stuff out of China. Maybe we move to Southeast Asia. Maybe we move to South America, but maybe we just move out of China. So I think that's also going on. But Xi Jinping has made it very clear that he plans to have China have complete sovereignty over Taiwan while he is president. And he's in his 70s, so he doesn't have a whole lot of time left. But he's got a calendar, and he's planning to do it. And whether it's this year or next year or the next 2 or 3 years, but it's not 20 years from now. So he's on the move.
And he does now have Russian oil. I mean, the Russians are saying, okay, fine, we'll sell our oil to China, maybe at a little discount, but the fact is they can offload the oil that they can't necessarily sell in Europe anymore. And today you had this extraordinary video conference between President Xi and President Putin, and they were talking about a new world order that'll be led by their two countries. I mean, how serious do you take all this?
When I was in the Nixon, Ford, and Reagan administrations, the whole thought of a Sino-Soviet, Chinese-Russian alliance was what drove American foreign policy. We knew that was the nightmare scenario. In those days, we thought that the Soviet Union was the dominant partner and China the junior partner. Now they plan to flip it on its head. And the combination, just think about this, it's the combination of Chinese technology, Chinese money, Russian military, and Russian natural resources. That is a very potent and powerful combination.
But that union never happened during the Cold War. No. In fact, they fought. And who even wrote a PhD thesis about that fight back in the 1960s, the border fights that they had between the Soviet Union and China. Wouldn't they have the same problem this time if they tried to come together?
Well, it depends. I mean, you know, I think it's a marriage of convenience. Nobody loves each other in this situation. It's a marriage of convenience, and the Chinese have their eye on the Russian resources, particularly in the eastern Siberia, where where the oil and natural gas is. It's a very sparsely populated area on the Russian side of the border. It's more heavily populated on China's side of the border. I think at the end of the day, China's going to say, okay, we'll help you, Russia. We might even help you out of the mess that you're in, but we want that oil.
I'm getting a wrap, so it's got to be real quick. But Putin is using Iranian drones in Ukraine, and apparently 80% of those drones come from U.S. materials. They put them together, but 80%. Is there anything we can do about that?
You bet we can do. There's a lot we can do about it. So we have the ability to stop the technology transfers. It's not just that we sell it to this company and who knows what happens next. We're supposed to be able to track that stuff, and we certainly should be able to now. We should track, is it going to this company, this company? It should never be in the hands of our adversaries, whether it's Iran, Russia, or